Hi! Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Sarah, and today is Blast from the Past. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but whatever. I said that in my New Year's resolution that I was going to show my previous old Snapchat posts, and well, that's what I'm doing. So before I get started, I'm just going to give a little background history. Back in September 2016, back when my seasonal job had ended, my father and I moved in together because we were both grieving so hard. It seemed like the right idea. And as you can tell from the first slide? What? Massey, do you say slide? Slide. What the fuck? Anyway, as you can tell from the first picture, he and I were very close. And we started using filters. And for a few reasons. It was something lighthearted that he and I both did. It was a way that we could get through everything together. And it was the only thing that we could do to take our minds off of everything. Anything. My sister and her family didn't live close by. My friends didn't really live close by, and the ones who did were busy with their families and work and all the things. I understand. Trust me, I do. And at the time, I was single and bored out of my mind. Like, really bored. But it didn't matter. Because just playing with Snapchat filters, it was really the only thing that was taking away the fear and anxiety, because of where I just lost my mother and my father was already very ill. I was terrified I was going to lose him too. I needed anything to make life not feel as trash as it felt. Okay, Massey, okay. She wants to be in the shot. Okay, here you go. Massey, you have to look up. There. And for people who say I'm holding her by the neck, I'm not. I'm holding her by the chest. You said your hellos. They've seen you. Are you okay now? Is it better? Anyway, I'm not sure if you can actually see the captions because as I was editing it, I couldn't. So, I'm narrating the pictures as you see them throughout this whole thing. So, I do read out the captions. But if you can see them, awesome. If you can't, don't worry. I'm going to read them out loud. I hope you enjoy this as much as I have creating it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but at the bottom of this picture, I had written in the caption, "Daddy's girl for sure," because it truly described the bond my father and I had. It was a way of showing how close we were and how safe and loved I've always felt with him. The caption wasn't just a joke or a trend. It was a reflection of our relationship and how important he was to me. Looking back now, it holds even more meaning because it reminds me of all the love and support and the connection we had and how lucky I was to be his girl. In the second picture, I was holding my stuffed rabbit that I've had since I was born, something that has always brought me comfort and a sense of safety. I captioned it, "Sleep well," because it was late at night and I was sending it to all of my Snapchat friends as a gentle way of wishing them a good night. At the time, it felt simple, but looking back, it was also a small moment of connection and reassurance for both them and me. That picture reflected how I was holding on to familiar comforting of things during a time when everything else in my life felt uncertain, felt falling apart. In this picture, I was showing off my messy, uneven tan, which had turned out completely wrong. I even captioned it, "Before and after, all in one shot. Fucked up tan." Because it perfectly captured how uneven and ridiculous it looked. Looking back, it's a little funny now, but at the time, I just wanted to share the reality of it with all my friends and laugh at myself. That photo became one of the small, silly moments that lighten the mood during any other way of a stressful, boring day. In this picture, I'm holding up a piece of bow tie pasta, right where a real bow tie would be sitting normally. I captioned it, "Feeling fancy with my bow tie," because it was a little silly moment of humor that I really wanted to share. And anyone who knows me knows just how much I love pasta. So this little joke felt really me. Looking back, it's one of those small, playful snaps that shows my personality, how I could find humor in something as simple as a piece of pasta and turn it into fun and enlightened heart and moment. I'm not sure why this picture didn't come out at all whatsoever. Well, it came out, but not clearly. Regardless, this picture was of my father sitting down at the kitchen table, listening to his radio while reading the newspaper. And when I say kitchen table, I mean the table that's in the kitchen, not the dining room table. There is a difference. The table was his spot in our home. It was where he would start his mornings, unwind after a VON visit, and where so many small everyday moments happened that I now remember so vividly, so clearly. Looking at this picture brings back the feeling of quiet, comfort, and routine, watching him do something so simple yet so meaningful in our everyday life. This picture didn't have a caption, but as you can see, he was simply doing the dishes, going about a normal everyday task. And I took it because in that moment I felt so grateful to still have him, to see him healthy, present, and part of my world. Looking back now, it's bittersweet because I wish I still did. I wish I still had both of them. Those ordinary moments, like him doing the dishes, are what make memories so precious. As the saying goes, them be the breaks. And as this picture reminds me of just how quickly life can change and how important it is to cherish the little things while we still have them. I was playing around with the filters, and one of them made my nose look so big, it instantly reminded me of my grandfather. On a whim, I turned to my father and joked, "Hey, look, I'm a young female version of Grandpa." He laughed so hard at that, and seeing him light up like that filled me with so much joy. Moments like that were small but incredibly meaningful to me. Just knowing I could make my father laugh and share a little silly fun together meant more to me than I can actually put into words. It's a memory I'll always treasure because it captured a silly, simple, happy connection between us during a time when moments felt so precious and wonderful to me. This picture is of my father at age 56. Still big full head of hair and no bald spots at all whatsoever. I had to take it because his brother, who I'm not particularly fond of at all whatsoever, not even in the slightest, has a bald spot that he likes to call his crown. I couldn't help resist pointing out, "Yeah, that's your crowning bald spot." Needless to say, he didn't like hearing that, but honestly, the truth hurts, and he needs to deal with it. This picture isn't just about hair. It's a small reminder of the differences between my father, who's always been strong, dependable, and full of life, and his brother, who's arrogant, irritating, and self-important. The caption reads, "Daddy dear is 56 and still a head full of hair." Perfectly describes the contrast and the little victories that feel especially satisfying. This picture was taken first thing in the morning. He had barely started his coffee, and there it was, capturing a moment of him just being himself. Because I was so grateful still to have him in my life. It was one of those, quiet, ordinary moments that feel so special. Even if it seemed so small at the time, I think that's what made it worth taking. Just seeing him there, peaceful and present, reminded me how lucky I was to have him. I miss my parents so deeply every single day. Looking back at this picture, it brings back a mix of warmth and love and longing for those moments I can never get back. I really like this filter. I honestly thought then, as I do now, it made me look amazing. The caption reads, "I'd make one awesome goth," which perfectly captured the vibe I was going for in that moment. I still wish that lipstick were a shade I could actually buy, because the combination of red with the black is just so stunning. It wasn't just about the makeup or the filter. It was about experimenting, having fun, and expressing a side of myself that felt bold, creative, and a little rebellious. Looking back at this picture reminds me of the small ways I explored my style and personality, even in something that's simple as just a selfie. One night, while I was sending silly Snapchat pics back and forth with a friend, my father was right there with me, watching and laughing along. The filters were so ridiculous and funny that we couldn't stop joking about them. He laughed at a few of the pictures, which gave me the idea to take this one of him using one of the filters. And when I showed it to him, he made a joke about looking like an alien. Though sadly, I can't remember exactly what it was. Looking back, this moment sticks with me because it wasn't just about the filters or the jokes. It was about us laughing together, sharing a light-hearted moment, and feeling simple, happy connection that I will always treasure. Always. This filter was so funny because it made it look like you were crying from spiders, which is completely over-the-top ridiculous.
My name is Asswipe. Toilet paper is all the same thing.
This filter was designed to make you look like a panda. That's the filter. It's a panda filter. Anyway, it made your skin look completely white. And I thought it was hilarious. So I captioned the picture, "Poof! Just like that, tan is gone." It was really such a silly moment, seeing myself suddenly pale as if all of my tan had disappeared in an instant. Looking back, it's one of those goofy little snapshots that makes me laugh, showing just how much fun I had experimenting with all these filters, just being playful and with my parents and all the things. I was talking with someone about iPods, and they were surprised that I didn't use one or used any at all whatsoever. Still don't know how to use them. Anyway, they asked how I listen to music without one. So I sent them this picture. It shows that I still have my Discman, my Walkman, and even though I have an 8-track too, I couldn't find it when I took this photo. Anyway, I captioned this picture, "Nostalgia," because it perfectly represents the older ways, the ways I grew up listening to music, and how much these memories still mean to me. While I was scrolling through the filters, I came across this cute bunny one, and I immediately took it and labeled it Squee! I laughed way harder than I probably should have. It wasn't even the filter. It was so cute. It made my face look so ridiculous. I couldn't take myself seriously at all whatsoever. There was no real reason for it to be as funny as I take it as. But for me, it absolutely was funny. Like, uncontrollably funny, apparently. Like, I absolutely remember just sitting there cracking up at how stupid I looked and how sometimes the dumbest things just end up being the funniest. This was definitely one of those moments. I really hope you find all these pictures that I'm posting here, these filters, just as funny and foolish as I do. This one doesn't have a caption. I was just bored out of my mind. Looking back, I'm so thankful I no longer am in that situation. Not just because of the boredom, but because of everything that came with it. I had a horrible neighbor living above me who blasted his terrible music all night long, all the fucking time. So loud, it literally shook my apartment. Pictures would vibrate on the walls and nothing ever felt quiet or peaceful. It was so bad, the cops were up there almost every night. I want to be very clear, I never called them. Even though I was always accused of calling them, I didn't. Still, I was the one who had to deal with his noise and all the tension. I'm beyond grateful and blessed to be out of that situation now and to finally have some peace and quiet and a sense of calm again. This picture was taken about an hour after that last one. I thought it was pretty good smile because it was right after the cops had a nice chat with the neighbor upstairs. And I used the word chat very lightly and very loosely. It was more like they finally made him understand his behavior was not okay. That smile was a mix of relief, satisfaction, and finally feeling like someone finally had my back. The only reason why this picture was taken while I was laying down is because I was actually trying to take a photo of something on the ceiling, but I actually ended up taking a picture of myself instead. At first, I wasn't even planning on it, but when I took it and looked at it, I really liked how it turned out. Sometimes the best pictures are the unintentional ones, the ones you don't overthink. I kept it because I thought it looked really nice and captured a smile, a natural moment that I wasn't expecting. It was nice. I took this picture to make it absolutely clear that I could not care less at all about the drama surrounding me. A lot of people seem to expect me to be upset or saddened or whatever that someone who treated me like trash had been arrested. But the truth is, I did not care whatsoever. Not at all. Not even a little. There was nothing to be relieved about. Nothing to mourn. Good riddance to bad rubbish. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't thinking about it at all. Fuck around and find out. That's the reality. I truly could not have cared less. That moment was just another reminder of how little control people like that have over me. Okay, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. There was one perfectly normal match lying right next to a completely morphed, twisted one. The contrast was so ridiculous, I couldn't stop laughing. It was one of those tiny, silly little things that somehow felt so funny in the moment. I decided to title it Deformed Match. Not even machine-made things are perfect. Because it perfectly captured how even the small things or anything that's supposed to be uniform can come out completely wonky. It's just a small, funny reminder that nothing in life is flawless. Nothing. Not even something as simple as a match. I honestly thought this Galaxy filter was one of the most beautiful filters I've ever seen. It made my eyes look as big, bright, and stunning, and almost as beautiful as my sister's. And paired them with the filtered makeup, it looked flawless. And the filtered earrings, they're so elegant. I couldn't stop admiring how the filter transformed everything, made me feel so glamorous, in a way I rarely ever do. I even titled it, If Only My Eyes Were Really This Big and My Makeup Ever Looked So Good. Would also love to own these earrings too. Because perfectly captured the mix of wishful thinking and admiration I felt in the moment. Looking back, it's one of those small magical moments where a simple filter made me feel a little more like the version of myself I've always imagined. I was so excited to be living with my father, finally getting our lives together, settling in and starting fresh. One of the first things I did was introduce him to Netflix. There were actually quite a few shows he liked, and seeing him enjoy them made me so happy because I knew I had made him happy. I remember exactly the day we were getting the internet. That was the day we planned to start watching shows together. Our little daddy-daughter time. I even titled this, Woot! Getting things set up Saturday, October 1st! Because it perfectly captioned the excitement of starting this new chapter together. Okay, this last one is just way too funny. I couldn't stop laughing even though it's just a pirate filter. Somehow it made me look exactly like my mom's nephew, Shane. Yes, I had to say it like that because, believe it or not, I actually have a cousin named Shane on both sides of the family. The resemblance between us is so ridiculous. I couldn't stop cracking up non-stop. It was just too funny. I still find it funny today. I ain't even looking at it. Sour puss face and all. It's one of those filters that's just over the top and silly. Like, you know, you just can't help but laugh at yourself. Honestly, I hope you're laughing just as hard as I did or still am. Because I'm still dying over this damn picture. Oh my. Oh jeez. Well, I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed it. Whew. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, write below, and I will get back to you as soon as I see it. Until next time, be kind. Please be kind. If you can't be anything else, be kind. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye!